it's going to take them 30 years just to study the genes that change over 30 years. On top of that, once they've patented the method, anyone else is going to have to come up with their own method as well. So this long-term research allows us to identify, and Nu Skin has coined the phrase youth gene clusters. Sometimes you'll hear the word AR supermarkers or age-related supermarkers. It just means those are genes that are changing with time, with age, okay? So that's the first level of why this is so exclusive. And I'm going to show you, just really quickly walk you through, because I know you see these gene chips a lot and the heat map, and I'm going to give you a little more data in your head of what they mean, just for your understanding, not to explain it. So, like, Nu Skin will study the expression of genes, and the way they do it is with this gene chip. It's called a DNA microarray, but sometimes it's called a gene chip or an Affy chip. And incidentally, one run of this experiment is $10,000. So you also have to have the money to do these experiments, because we're running gene chip after gene chip in Nu Skin. This particular chip, on this little chip here, it says citrus genome array. That means every gene for this orange is on this chip. And when we do our experiments, every gene on that chip is the human genome, the 25,000 genes. And what it produces is this DNA microarray that you see all the time. This is on the gene chip. And each of these is a gene, and the brightness of it is determined by how intensely that gene is expressed, okay? Now, you still need to know which genes are the age-related genes. See, generating a DNA microarray doesn't mean a thing unless you have the age-related genes to generate it with. So that's another level of this. And then from there, this is computer analyzed by its intensities, and it creates these heat maps. And this is Joe Chang's heat map before he took ageLOC Vitality. This is a blood test run, and then 15 days later, they ran his DNA again, okay, on a gene chip. And what it is each one of these translates to a little line right here. There's 1,400 genes right there on that chip, on that heat map. And each is a little tiny thin band when you look at it. Red is really high level, it's hot. That's why they use that color, hot, high level expression. Blue is cold, it means very low gene expression. So you'll see these really hot genes, really high expressed, have been turned down to yellow. These yellow genes have been turned way down to blue. These yellow genes have been turned up to red. There's a gene here, even it's pretty blue, that's been turned way up to red. And in terms of transformations on the face, that would translate to collagen gene being turned up, elastin genes being turned up. There are enzymes that eat proteins that are called, like collagenase eats up collagen. You see, everything's in flux. You have to start thinking more of things in movement all the time. So a cell is making proteins and also removing proteins too, and there's a balance to that. So the brilliance of Nu Skin and why there's so many genes in a youth gene cluster is not only do you turn up collagen, but you turn down the enzyme that's breaking down collagen. You see, you're getting kind of a double bang for your buck in a sense. But the concept here is you still need to know which are the youth genes. And it brings me to a point. As you can see here, this is 15 days. Your DNA is changing constantly. Okay, so if anyone says to you, because I get this sometimes from people, oh, Nu Skin's messing with the DNA, or we're not changing the genetic code at all. Your body is constantly changing its gene expression. You can see it in 15 days here. I can tell you, if I took a blood sample from everyone right now, ran one of these experiments, and you all went out for a jog and came back, and I took blood samples, you'd have totally different gene profile in your blood. Same thing if you eat a piece of fruit. Before, eat an apple, 20 minutes later, run the blood. Your gene expression would be different. It's changing all the time. So if someone says to you, oh, you're going to put future serum on your face, it's changing your genes. Whatever they're putting on their face is changing their genes. They just don't know which genes. And a lot of them aren't the best genes to be changing. So if that helps in your head when you get that kind of an objection, we know which genes are being affected, and they're good ones to affect, and they're making your skin express itself like younger skin. So, we found 25,000 genes. You have to know which ones are related to aging in order to target and reset them. Only new skin can do this, okay? That's the first level of this algorithm. Woo! So the next step in the algorithm is to target those genes. And it's done experimentally. No one else can do that because they don't even know what genes they are. New Skin can take products and see how they affect the gene expression of the youth gene clusters and then refine those botanicals to the right active ingredients and use the ones that are experimentally working. You see, nothing's random about this. So you can experimentally develop natural products to cause those youth gene clusters, once you found them, to express themselves as youthful genes. That's what targeting is. And then resetting is that the products are ones chosen that cause the youth gene clusters to express themselves as young cells. And I just gave you several examples of why that's completely feasible from unrelated experiments. The cell is responding to the environment. If you give it the right botanicals that will turn on the youth gene clusters, which means some genes go up, some go down. I'm talking about the youth gene cluster as a group. If you give them the right information, they'll express young expression. There's no opinion to the DNA. Do you see that? It's environment that's telling it. So youthful gene expression of age-related genes through experimentally chosen environmental cues. That's resetting. So the algorithm is identify, which takes a lot of time and a lot of brain power and a lot of money and a lot of great scientists. Then target those genes once you know what they are. You have to run experiment after experiment to find the right botanicals that will target those genes. First of all, that they even talk to those genes. And then you want to reset them. You want to use the right ingredients to tell those genes to express themselves as youthful. So there's two takeaways from the first part, and I'm going to do a brief thing with LifePak and Vitality. First takeaway is cells need proper nutrition. LifePak Nano is critical. And LifePak Nano has in it ingredients that are so well absorbed, and we can prove it with the carotenoids, with the nanotechnology of CoQ10 and the carotenoids, and we can test it with the biophotonic scanner. But there's over 800,000 research articles that back the choices made for what's put into LifePak Nano. Epigenetics means, so I just showed you, through appropriate environmental cues, we can reset the youth gene clusters. And that's where Vitality comes in, as well as Transformations, Future Serum. LifePak Nano. I'm going to tell you what's in each of these if you don't know, because for me it helps to know. You don't have to tell anyone this, but just to know what you're dealing with, okay? So here's your, they call it the CR6 liponutrients, because in here is the things that are fat soluble. So in there is your omega-3s, which are fish oil, krill oil. You have in there the fat soluble carotenoids and vitamins. So your vitamin E would be in there, your all the nanotechnologies in there for CoQ10. And then you have 3 mineral caps. So that's got calcium, magnesium, all the minerals. This yellow one is the vitamins. You got your B vitamins in there and your K and all your vitamins. And then this is the phytonutrients. All the plant nutrients. Your tea green and things like that are in there. LifePak provides nutritional support for every body system and every organ. And that's important to know. Even DNA protection, which is a biggie. Your DNA is constantly being repaired. And there are cofactors, micronutrients needed for the enzymes that repair your DNA. That's in LifePak. There's an antioxidant network. Antioxidants don't work alone. They work in groups. And antioxidants help, it's called scavenge free radicals. They scavenge oxygen reactive species. You know, you've heard a lot about free radicals. They can damage DNA, they can damage cells. Antioxidants have the ability to grab those so they can't hurt any other molecules, but they have a limited lifetime. They can only take so many hits, basically. But some of the water-soluble ones, like vitamin C, can be recycled and reused. And ALA, alpha lipoic acid, can recycle vitamin C. And vitamin E is tied into that too. Then there's another antioxidant that can recycle ALA. Another one can recycle that one. That whole network is put into LifePak Nano. So not only are you getting phenomenal antioxidants, but you're also maximizing the ability to keep them active in your body. That's a whole nother thing, and that's because Lester Packer, who's the antioxidant specialist in the world, is on Nu Skin's scientific advisory board. So I'm going to make a plug for twice a day here, and I'm going to show you why. When you take your LifePak Nano, there's a peak in your bloodstream. So these are standard curves that you see with pharmacokinetics, like when in drugs or in any kind of something that's taken in your body, a vitamin. Although Nu Skin was the first to do any of these double-blind clinical studies, Joe Chang said when he did his first study, all the supplement companies contacted him and said, "We don't do that with supplements. We just talk about things." And he said, "Well, we do now, you know, because he came from pharmaceuticals. So it only makes sense to do serious clinicals with all your products." So there's a peak in the blood, and that starts to drop off. These water-soluble ones. You need to take a second dose to peak again so that you optimize 24 hours a day having all the antioxidants in your body. You're also going to get more carotenoids and CoQ10 and fish oil in by doing 2 a day. But the science shows you, that's why they designed it this way, for 24-hour protection. And I've noticed, because I scan a lot of people on the biophotonic scanner, their score goes up, 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 and it starts to lag a little. And I say, "Are you taking your LifePak twice a day?" And there's always some level of either a silence or some strong indicator that it's not happening. And I see it in their scan score. But I can show you from this, you need twice a day, okay, to keep that in your bloodstream. So the key benefits, people are finding more energy from LifePak, less sickness, better sleep, many, many other benefits. There's people that, you know, stories people have of psoriasis going away in short periods, you know, talking within months. All kinds of benefits because this helps lower inflammation in the body, so a lot of inflammatory responses are reduced. It's a phenomenal thing to take. And that's your basic nutrition. That's different from Vitality. You want to take LifePak, okay? Now, the biggie right now is ageLOC Vitality. We went over, as of this morning, we hit 8.5 million in sales so far. Joe wanted to do 10 million by the end of the year. We might do it by the end of September.
Yeah, by Thursday.
Yeah. So there's clearly a global need for Vitality. 85% of consumers are concerned about their energy and stamina. 40% decline in ability to concentrate from age 30 to 60. Sexual desire declines 66% in women, 37% in men. We're talking to people constantly. Everyone's interested in Vitality. And if you ask a few questions, everyone's going to fit into one of those 3 categories, if not all of them. It's very true. I think that number is closer to 100% personally. Because we're talking to young people that say they don't have enough energy. Man. When I was your age, I would go, I would never say I needed more energy. Physical endurance, stamina, resistance, and all these things are happening. This is what Vitality is targeting, but within a month, many people are reporting these benefits. Cognition, mental benefits, cognition, clarity, focus, memory, alertness, sexual desire, libido. Our close friends Claudia and Derek Bentley are now having a Vitality baby. Woo! There's a study that Nu Skin is running, a cognitive study on LifePak that's going to be revealed at convention. Dramatic results in the cognitive abilities going up on Vitality. It's just the beginning too. These are the mitochondria. Okay?